Okay, you're able to see the screen now? Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Note down the problem. Note down the last problem in helical gears. Okay, this was asked for 20 marks. A pair of helical gears with helix angle 23 degrees. Okay, helix angle is 23 degrees. Please note down this problem. A pair of helical gears with helix angle 23 degrees is to transmit 2.5 kilowatt at 10,000 RPM of pinion. This problem I think we have not taken, no? Kunal, have you taken this problem?
No, sir, I haven't written this problem.
Okay then. So please note down. So helix angle is 23 degrees. Power to be transmitted is 2.5 kilowatt at 10,000 RPM of pinion. Okay, this is N1 in that case. Okay, pinion terminology is N1, Z1, D1. Okay, speed, number of teeth, and pitch circle diameter. And for gear, it's going to be N2, Z2, D2. The velocity ratio is 4:1. So therefore, the speed of gear or the driven member is going to be 10,000 divided by 4. That amounts to around 2,500 RPM. That is the value of N2. Both gears are to be made of hardened steel. Okay, hardened steel with an allowable stress. Okay, allowable stress of 100 megapascal for each of the gear. Okay, so both pinion and gear are made of same material with static allowable stress of 100 megapascal. That is sigma naught p is equal to sigma naught g is equal to 100 megapascal. Okay, the gears are 20 degrees stub. Okay, please see this 20 degree stub. It is not 20 degree full depth involute. So be careful. The moment you see 20 degree, don't rush thinking it as full depth involute. So it is stub involute. Okay, 20 degree stub involute. We'll learn after this problem. We'll learn what these pressure angles and what the stub tooth is all about. Okay, the gears are 20 degree stub and the pinion is to have 24 teeth. So that is N1, that is Z1, that is number of teeth on pinion is 24. Okay, that is the value of Z1. So Z1 is given. You need to design the gears and then determine BH. Okay, so data, what are the things that are given? Power to be transmitted is 2.5 kilowatt. Speed of pinion is 10,000 RPM. So with velocity ratio 4:1, we'll get the speed of gear to be 2,500 RPM and sigma naught P is equal to sigma naught G is equal to 100 megapascal given in the problem. And then okay, then we have got helix angle given as 23 degrees. So pressure angle is 20 degrees stub, Z1 is 24. These are all the data. Okay, so then from there we'll get the value of Z1 and Z2 by using velocity ratio. We can get Z1 and Z2 values, something like this, by using N1 by N2 into Z1. After that, calculate virtual number of teeth on pinion and on gear by using equation Z by cos cube beta. Okay, so then calculate the Lewis form factor. So please see the equation. When you take it, you have to take it for 20 degree stub tooth. Okay, not 20 degree full depth involute. So be careful while calculating Lewis form factor. The moment you take the wrong equation over here, then all your subsequent calculations are going to go wrong. Is that okay? Are you there? Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Calculate and finish up to tangential tooth load. Those of you who have come late, please note down the problem and start solving the problem. Are you able to see the problem clearly if you are using mobile? Anybody using mobile there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Ranveer Singh, you are using mobile or laptop or desktop? What?
Yes, sir.
Which one you are using, mobile or laptop?
Sir, now mobile.
Why? Why I say mobile? Can you see really? What
Yes,
is
sir.
typed? Is it clear for you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's total clear.
Okay, okay, fine. Yeah, please note down, take a notebook, please carry out the calculations. Don't just keep watching the screen, please do calculations. So you need to calculate virtual number of teeth on both pinion and gear, calculate Lewis form factor. So, as I said, the equation for calculation of Lewis form factor, you have to use it for 20-degree stub tooth, okay? Don't use 20-degree full depth involute equation. You will go wrong there. So be careful at every stage, okay? And then once you find out Lewis form factor, they automatically, since same material is used for both pinion and gear, so pinion is going to be the weaker of the gear pair, okay? Then calculate velocity and then calculate tangential tooth load. Then after that, we'll go to the next slide. Danesh, ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರೇನ್ರಿ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್? Danesh Kumar Gowda. ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಧ್ಯಾನೇಶ್, ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಪಾಠ ಲೆಕ್ಕ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಿ? ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? ಗುಡ್ ಗುಡ್. Rasik Baran, working?
Yes, sir. Working, sir.
Okay. Neerab, Nilesh.
Yes, sir. Working, sir.
Fine.
Yes,
fine.
sir.
Okay. Three. Why there is a reduction in number of students attending classes? Any idea? No idea.
No,
whom
sir.
to ask? Whom to ask? Yogananda. Siddharth Shankar, working?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, please check your answers. If it is done, we will go to the next slide. If 3 of you say yes, we will go to next slide.
Yeah. What's the differences?
Niharika, are you getting these answers?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Chaitanya, is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Done, sir.
Okay. We will go to the next. Anybody still doing Gunasagar? Yogananda? Next one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. So apply Lewis form factor. Lewis equation. Use Lewis equation. So wear factor, you can use 1.25 for scant lubrication from table 12.21. And B, you take 13M for compact design. So you will get M cube CV desired. Please let me know if there is any variation. So get M cube CV desired. So you may get something like this also, 0.537. So don't panic there, okay? Check for this standard module, okay? Whether 1.125 is there. Maybe in the other value if you have. This is M cube CV actual. ಏನ್ರಿ ಶಿವಕೃಷ್ಣ ಇಷ್ಟು ಲೇಟು? Please check whether you are getting M cube CV desired this value.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then that is done. Sagar Dutt, are you getting this value?
One second, sir. Finding.
Yeah, fine, fine. Please check for the equation for velocity factor. I have taken 15.25 by 15.25 plus V. Go to helical gear design equations and check. ಅಲ್ಲ ಆಚೆ ಕಡೆ ಬಿಸಿಲು ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಇದೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. Okay, are these values correct? What is the module? Standard module?
So 1.125.
Okay. So this is what I got, 1.125. And MQFCV actual is going to be 0.709.
Good night. ನೀರು ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಜಾಗ ಈ ಕಡೆ ನಿಂತೆ ಅಲ್ಲ
If you say you are finished, then we'll go further. Pavan, finished, huh?
Doing, sir.
Okay. Vivian, are you able to understand?
Yes, sir.
No problem, huh?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, okay. Is the dynamic factor value correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So you will get wear load as 2360.9 for a BHN of 500. Correct? Q is 1.6. D1 is mz by cos cube, cos beta. That will give you 29.33. Okay. Shall we move on to the next one? Okay. Okay. Are you all there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Finished? Anybody still doing? Gunasagar, Yogananda, Rasik Baran? Doing?
Completed, sir.
Completed? Okay.
Done, sir.
Okay, then fine. Then we'll move on to the next one. That is, so far we have been telling. So all of you, please stop working. Okay. So far we have been telling 20 degree involute, 20 degree stub, 14.5 degree pressure angle, and so on. Can anyone tell me what is the significance of these pressure angles? Anything that you want to tell, you can tell. Okay, regarding pressure angle. Any idea, Nilesh? What are the importance of these pressure angles? Neerab, Vivian,
The
yeah.
strength of the teeth.
Okay. Yeah, complete it fully.
The strength of the teeth, the tooth, sir. Like how much, something like that, sir. I think so.
Okay. Any other answer? Any other answer regarding pressure angle? Yeah. Anyway, I'll take you through. If by chance some of you may, if you get into gear manufacturing industry, so this may be of some help during interview or things like that. Okay. Right. All of you, please listen. Okay. So now, before we get into those pressure angle part, we should understand what is undercutting. Okay. Are you all there? Are you all there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So what we need to understand what is undercutting. If you see here, this is pinion. Okay. This is the pitch circle of the pinion. This is the base circle. Okay. And this is the mating gear that he has shown over here. Okay. So this during meshing of gears, that is obviously pinion and gear. Okay, this gear will interfere and remove a part of the material from pinion. Is that okay? It will remove a part of the material from pinion and makes the pinion at the most sensitive zone of pinion weaker by removing the material. Is that okay? Is that okay? This is what is called as undercutting. So because of interference during meshing of pinion and gear, there is going to be removal of material from the base circle of pinion or vice versa gear. So that removal of material is called undercutting. Okay. So what will happen if the material is removed at this zone is the most important zone. No? This we have learned in our Lewis equation derivation. Okay. So that is the most stressor part. So what will happen if the material is removed from that part? What will happen to the gear? What will happen to the gear?
Yes, teeth might break, sir.
Teeth might break. That means it loses its what? Strength. Okay. Is that okay? Others? What will happen? Yes. Varun, Vivian, what will happen if material is removed? Shankar, Siddharth, what will happen to the gear once the material is removed at the weakest point?
So the fracture might happen, it might propagate, so it might lead to
failure. And since that is the zone of maximum stress, that's what we learnt in our Lewis equation. There's going to be tangential load, and this is going to be the distance h. So the bending moment will be maximum. So therefore, bending stress is going to be maximum of this. If material is also removed because of undercutting, what will happen? The stress induced will be enormous, and the teeth will break. Okay, this is what happens in undercutting. Okay, so that is undercutting, that is because of interference. Next. Okay, so again what will happen? So this is what I given here. The process of undercutting weakens the tooth at the areas close to the point of maximum bending moment. So therefore you will have the material, the tooth being broken, okay, because of undercutting over here. This is what is called as undercutting. So this happens because of interference. So we need to, during design of the gear, we need to avoid, or it can so happen that during gear hobbing is a process where you will have a blank, okay, you will have a blank, and the gear, the hobber essentially will have teeth here, okay, it will create teeth on these cylinder, okay. That's how the gear hobbing process is going to be carried out. In free time, if you see gear hobbing process, how it is done, it is essentially mating of two gears. That's what happens in gear hobbing process. That is HOBBING. Okay. In gear hobbing process, it is essentially like two gears in mesh. Okay. So what will happen if your teeth on cutter is not proper? What it will do is, it will do what is called as undercutting because of interference. So then also the gear teeth may become weaker. It need not be essentially during meshing of pinion and gear. It can happen even during the manufacturing of the gear itself. Because of interference, there may be going to be undercutting, thereby making the gear tooth weaker. Are you there? You understood what is the difference between interference and undercutting? Okay. Have you, Sagar Dutt?
Understood,
Yeah.
sir.
Now, coming to about pressure angle. So increasing pressure angle improves the tooth strength, but shortens the duration of contact. Right now, decreasing pressure angle, what it does? It requires more number of teeth to avoid undercutting. Okay. So if you use lesser pressure angle, so there is going to be chances of undercutting will increase. Okay, then you need to have more number of teeth on pinion to avoid undercutting. So undercutting, we understood what is undercutting. So undercutting is the removal of material because of interference between the gears. Okay, and so therefore 20-degree pressure angle is a good compromise for most of the power transmission as well as precision gearboxes. And once again, there are three standard pressure angles. I mean, two standard pressure angles that are used. One is 20-degree pressure angle, another is 14.5-degree pressure angle. So let's look at the advantages of 20-degree pressure angle over 14.5 degree is it reduces risk of undercutting. Says directly, if I say undercutting, you would not have understood. So we have now understood what is undercutting, which is essentially removal of material because of interference during the machining of gears. Okay. So if you use 20-degree pressure angle, so the risk of undercutting comes down. And it also reduces interference because interference and undercutting, they are together. Okay. So once risk of undercutting is less, so it will also reduce interference. Or because of less interference, there's going to be less risk of undercutting. Is that okay? And then due to increased pressure angle, the tooth becomes slightly broader at the root. Okay. So this makes this tooth stronger and increases load carrying capacity. So this is another very big advantage of having higher pressure angle. And also it has got greater length of contact. Okay. The only advantage of 14.5-degree pressure angle is it will improve the quietness of operation. That is, during operation, the noise that is generated is going to be less when we are using 14.5-degree pressure angle. Okay. And what about 20-degree stub involute? What is its advantage? Is that it will have shorter addendum. Okay, it will have shorter addendum and shorter dedendum. So the interfering portion of the teeth, there is a part of addendum is removed. Okay, so that is the advantage of 20-degree stub involute. That means because addendum and dedendum are shorter, so we can avoid the chances of interference and thereby undercutting will be reduced. So these are all the advantage or description about the pressure angle that you are expected to know if you are joining any gear cutting industry. At least you should know what is pressure angle, what is module, what is pitch circle diameter, what is number of teeth, and what is the difference between 20 degrees and 14.5 degree pressure angle, what is helix angle. Okay, so these things will be there in your interview definitely. So you are expected to know this much at least before you go for an interview in a gear manufacturing industry. Okay, again it's about interference and undercutting. Right? Anything else you need to know? Anything? What you do now is you note down the sketch. Okay, and then next slide description is there. You please note down the description also. Note down the sketch. And note down this description over here that I am marking. Okay, note down this much description along with the sketch. Is the sketch visible for you on your screens properly?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. This is pinion. This is gear. This is interference that is indicated. So this is undercut. Because of interference, so there is going to be undercut. Okay. And then this is the base circle. This is the pitch circle. Please note down this description and this sketch. Then we'll go to the next slide. Because gear manufacturing is a very, very big industry. Okay, there are people with one gear hobbing machine and also 100 gear hobbing machines. Okay, so it is very widely used everywhere. So you can have gears from the module of 0.5, 0.6 to a module of 10, 20, 25. For sugar industries and such industries, one gear diameter will be of the order of 3 meters diameter, okay? And it takes 20 days to cut the gear teeth on that gear, okay? Such big machines are also there. If you make one mistake during your calculation and all those things, cutter grinding, so entire gear, which will cost around 80,000 or 1 lakh rupees, will go wasted. Okay. And there are tabletop gear hobbing machines also with a module of 0.75 mm. Okay. Have you ever seen gear hobbing machine anywhere during your industrial visit?
No, sir.
Hey, have you visited HMT?
No, sir.
HMT you have not visited. Okay. Industry
Sir,
visit in
sir, I have
HMT?
not visited, sir.
Huh?
Sir, I did not go, sir. Others went, sir.
Okay. If you're finished, we'll go to the next one. Yeah, note down. Please note down this description. Or note down this sketch also. Just note down this description sketch. I think you have taken down. So note down this description. Finished writing this? Is it over? Yeah, in this, you note down this sentence. Note down advantages of 20-degree pressure angle over 14.5 degrees. And note down, it will improve quietness of operation. Note down this much. Finished, huh? Did you finish? Yeah, is it over?
No, sir.
Yeah. Hope you have finished. Okay. Done?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, and all of you, please listen. Any doubt so far in helical gears or bevel gears? Any doubt? Anybody? So we learned about pressure angle, undercutting, helical gear design. Okay. And then we learned about formative number of teeth. Okay. That is virtual number of teeth. So we learned about design procedure. Then also we worked 2 problems on gear design, I hope. Correct, no? So this is what about helical gear design. Okay. So in the next class, let's see where some chatting is there. Okay, Shiva Krishna. Okay. Yeah. So in the next class, okay. So wait, those who are leaving, ask them to wait for some time. Attendance need to be taken. Don't rush. Okay. Rohan Kagalkar, you are getting married or what? Hmm? You are rushing. Since your sister got married, you also want to get married early?
No,
Wait.
sir.
Wait then. Okay. Yeah. So next class, that is Monday, I will be starting with the bevel gear design. Okay. Monday we'll have bevel gear design. Okay. I'll be starting. Tell all your friends to join for the class on Monday because introductory class will be more important. Okay. Otherwise, the design procedure is more or less like a spur gear design with the addition of 2 or 3 steps extra. That's all. Okay. So we'll be learning bevel gear design on Monday. Tell your friends to attend the class without miss. Right? Is that okay? Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay then. Okay then. So we'll meet on Monday for bevel gear design. That's the last part of this module. Okay? Right?
Okay, sir.
Okay then.